Greetings, this is F.R.I.D.A, uh, and I welcome you uh, to the sorry, notice a slight problem in my notes. To my recap on Critical Role Campaign 3 Saga of the Bell's Hells, Episode 57, The Sorrow of Molaesmyr. Molaesmyr. I accidentally put Shadow of the both common things used in like fancy things. First off, we had like to the announcements. D and Beyond, and their and Sam's Fred Schneider stuff. They said where he did this ridiculous song stuff. I believe I think it was Laura and Ashley singing, or yep, there. Apparently, at some point, he claims that he cursed to still sing and stuff. Though, of course, to finish the ad was the way to break the curse. I'm not going to. There was merch alerts, that stuff. The only thing of real note is that during the intro sequence, I usually skip ahead now because that I didn't notice that there seemed to be a new intro. Oh, like a scene part of the intro is changed. And again, I'll be showing you bits and I'll call them clips under fair use, but I will not show you. But they'll be very. They won't be that many, and they're so limited long I can do it. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. So yeah, we have Diana there with her axe, which does she still have axe? F.R.I.D.A, and I think that's Odon Thule, which which consider what's going on and stuff, a little bit concerning that she's in this intro. Uh, then we get into the recap how Chetney, Imogen, Fern, and F.C.G. brain for a senior moment. You were separated during at the fight with the rest of the party at the fight uh, at the Malleus Key at the, as they sometimes call it, Applebee's Soul Cycle. That's for those who want it. That is the Applebee's Solstice. Solstice. Blue. It's getting transferred to the continent of Wildmount and arriving just south of Ufut. Arriving meets Chetney's ex, Diana, and her friend and her amateur friend F.R.I.D.A, who, through a series of deeds of ridding certain creatures, who uh, who after a series of deeds of removing certain creatures from the city by various means, elicited the favor of the king and queen of the diarchy of the Southern, were granted new words, a new wardrobe from shops, like stuff, and information on lewdness, and which led to them learning about the ruins of the old elvish city of Molaesmyr, where the elves of Uthadern used to dwell before an event which a corruption which caused a corruption that destroyed it and tainted these woods around it, turning them into what's now known as the Savalier Woods. Learning that this that that lewdness was there, er, and that this all happened on non-opportunity solstice, they go to investigate see if they can find out what happened there and how it links to the current now ongoing apathy solstice. Apogee solstice. And so, after journeying through the Locate Alps, and they start to travel by way of the Boreal Omen River. After by after releasing the goats they had purchased, the flock goats they purchased with service, except for one which they removed from life. It was debatable how necessary that was. But after turning down this and encountering this, I believe it was called a bog mound, and it's and some pixies who were pests to both sides of the fight. But they eventually locate the uh, the ruins of Molaesmyr. Uh, there, there they say all the things. The corruption stairs, cracks the ground where these miasma geysers would sometimes pop out. Mutant creatures. One particular stood out to them. An elk-like creature with many limbs, including two well, humanoid-like arms which dragged behind it, very wide, expansive antlers, and a snout with no facial features, which one-shotted Imogen's recently summoned Crimson Shade before departing, not detecting them. As and that's where we pick up, as they determine how to figure out a way to get to the to losing this former residents of the series in this in the city, the Guild Hollow Tower stuff, shit like that, and Imogen trying to make constructing a rudimentary machine with a bag of 1,000 ball bearings to use as like some sort of distraction, which or as they call it, is some sort of Odyssey of Mind reference, which I do not get. The cityscape of Molaesmyr is over, very overgrown and seem to be in a state of perpetual autumn, though a twisted autumn at that. I honestly like some of the looks of it based on a map we see later. They start heading toward a central tower in the city, I think believing it to be the guild hall. No. At one point, I think I forget what I think it maybe down was called using mileage to make it look like there's always this wall in front of them. I think it's a way of hiding. Not sure if she's actually serious with that or not, or if it's just like. And as I noticed some of the trees around them, some of them notice that some of the trees have parts of corpses seemingly emerge into them. And, and they see many abandoned camps of previous expeditions, remembering how Uther has sent them to reclaim some of their lost history. Also, some of the members also don't remember that gangs from Shady Run sometimes came to raid here for relics of interest, selling stuff, black market, and sometimes to though they also seem to have some interest in the corpses. Don't ask me why. And that Chatney uses his hunter's bane. Hang on. I have a timestamp here.
Personal consciousness and connection to your blood magic, and in doing so, try and reach out to sense some of these darker entities that are tethered to this enchantment. And you get a sense to the left here, and you open your eye that direction, and you see what looks to be a ghostly humanoid figure that just kind of walks through the street. You see the faint outline of pointed ears, and it just kind of walks and then disappears, and you feel it vanish. Another one, about 40 feet to your right, you see it kind of stop and turn and look at you.
Of course, they send
and then vanish.
Oh, don't do that! Don't do that! You gave me all the stuff.
Yeah. That's why you don't ask. They can't be creepy at you.
Yeah.
We gotta open the mouth and not make a noise.
I did point. Okay.
You also, amongst the small bits of growth and the brambles that weave through the streets, there are trees. There are some that you can see are very well long planted here when the city was in its prime. These massive trunks and extending branches that have since kind of taken into the rest of the corruption, but you can see along its base, though much of it has been retaken by the surrounding twisted nature, stone decorations. These were intentional. But amongst the center of these walkways and these streets, you see others that have since kind of punched through and grown themselves more gnarled and twisted. And the nearest one to you also kind of hits your aura.
Basically, gets pings off your trees. Yes. Basically, I would like to point out that he didn't actually get any feel sensations from the actual corpses on the ground that are just strewn on the ground. Only this ghost and the trees. So. Oh, actually, is it after that we're no, sorry, I have it here that after this it's Deanne who's with a nat 20 perception who notices that there are like corpse parts that are united with or merged with the trees and stuff, right? And stuff. Before they just thought noticed the trees were kind of unusually shaped and stuff. And then they actually have Fern try to use to commune with the trees or something, or get anything off of them. Being a druid,
Age of decay, like it all just was like a one-time poof that happened.
Make a
Does that make any
nature
sense?
check.
Oh yeah, like
yes.
like a
Fern's,
blast
they
Yeah.
have the druid make the nature check. Very nice.
Make a how do I have a -1?
To what?
For nature.
That is a good question,
It's
Druid.
totally different. It's true. Oh, 1. Oh, right.
So you rolled a 0.
I rolled a 0.
Druid got 0 on a nature check.
Nothing happened.
What are plants?
What are plans?
What am this?
Okay. Yes. Uh, After that, they go around. We see the decorations for Sam's tank for the day. Rest in peace, Jerry the goat. Those are probably the episodes. No, those are time slots, like time codes in the episode. If only Laura had done more. Be needing that later. Anyway, they look around. They find actually what appears to have been though it's a great an old livery. They can see another one of those sculptures with a branch like part of the tree going through what appears to be an elongated skeleton of a horse. So they try to spare Imogen the view of this, but of course, they said don't look there. Of course, she has to look. And after Frida goes and casts decomposition on it, which after a while, the thing seems to briefly move and stuff, as if it's trying to resist before turning it and the plants there turning to ash. This is they assume this is like this whole place is like a tortured environment. So like. And at one point, Laura, and seeing how they did briefly get the attention of the ghosts who seem to be wandering here and there, but if even briefly, a Imogen says that perhaps they shouldn't be casting magic right now, so avoid attention. Well, after a while, they hear howls off the distance, and F.C.G uses casts the spell divination to ask the change bringer of which way to go, which seems to actually work since it was an actual casting. in order, God's sake, and while they're getting such a and F.C.G decides to give them protection in the form of spiritual guardians, which take the form of Chibi F.R.I.D.A. F.R.I.D.A. is like, and this does actually get the attention of the ghost, who all stop and look around, and they start going. They got nervous and stuff, and especially when they notice that every time they look away for a ghost, when they look back, it has moved 5 feet closer.
Oh, God.
Where's Pike? Is he chill? Hey, fellow dead people, how are you?
You kind of turn around and look at the rest of your friends and glance back, and they're closer.
Oh, no, don't do the ghost.
No!
You gotta love.
Everybody look out! Everybody look out at what? At the direction. Don't.
Yeah, no. When I got this, I immediately maybe this is because I have this scene redone so many times in different fan fictions. But when I heard this, I immediately heard her stretching. I immediately think of that scene in OG Naruto where they're protecting. They're on the wave mission. They're protecting Zub. Its Zabuza just showed up, and they're in the mist. They're getting sort of form a triangle formation around, looking out. But he suddenly appears in the middle of them, to their backs. I thought that was what was going to happen.
Look away from him. Channel divinity.
But we got this.
Turn on dead.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay.
Nice.
So,
I panicked.
the radius on this is
30 feet.
30 feet?
Hold on, I don't know. I'm very nervous right now. I've never played D&D.
No. Yeah.
As you all continue to spin and look around, every time your eyes leave one of the spirits and returns, they're about 5 feet closer until they're just slowly closing on you.
No!
Until there's about 15 or so within 10 feet of you. And as they get closer, you can see the vacant sockets. You can see the stretched, elongated jaws that hang open. You can see the features, the fine elven bone structure that has been exaggerated into this horrible, gaunt, terrifying, long-anchored visage of despair and hunger. And describe to me how you channel divinity.
Oh, let's go. J.J. Abrams just lens flare. I think she curls in over his shoulders and like a little bit of light catches and it's just like a burst of light out in 30 feet in every direction.
What is the DC on this?
17.
17. Alrighty. This is charisma or constitution?
Oh, golly. You keep asking good questions and I've never had an answer for you.
Well, I don't want to overdo the allowability of copyright rules. So she does this. Many of the ghosts are just easily destroyed. Others are completely but are repulsed. However, five resist, and then combat begins. During the fight, F.C.G creates his spiritual weapon, which in this case takes the form of himself because he already got F.R.I.D.A as his spirit guardian. And one of the ghosts Oh, also, sympathetic. He binds everyone. He also sympathizes everyone but Chetney because he can't do everyone. He can only do up to 4 people. During it, while F.R.I.D.A does notice spots all distance at the top of the within the top of the tower. There, and then something interesting happens. Turns out the girls do have a special power. Oh, real quick before I get in that, oh shoot, hang on. We have this is what the battlefield looks like. These are the spirits that assault them. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll probably recognize one of these as the thumbnail. That one specifically. And now
Reach as she reaches forward, and you turn around to try and
a ghost try to make a move like
strike as she pours into your mouth.
Oh no!
And suddenly,
the look on Travis's face. Now, look the fact this is happening to him.
Chetney kind of shake for a second as his eyes go poof, a glowing bright blue.
Oh no.
You are currently possessed.
No!
By a young teenage girl? Has he turned into an influencer? Oh my god. It's been 300 years. Oh no!
F.C.G.
Catch me on the talk show.
I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
This was current saving throw. I'll just say the thing. Like everyone else does. This he goes and starts attacking F.C.G. He the other ghosts had tried to attempt to possess F.C.G, Imogen, and Fern in that order. But they all make their saves and stuff. And F.C.G uses his metal of the Changebringer to repulse Imogen's psychic energy, like it prevents her taking over, and Fern is Fern. That's the best explanation I got. Dan quickly manages to cast Great Restoration to exorcise. I think that's the correct pronunciation. The teenager from Chetney. Not sure that will help him that much. You're only young once, but as he proves, you can be immature forever. Not that I'm one to talk. Let's see. After more battle, they are completely will wait until Chetney manages to carve the last one away, granting him his second. How do you want to do this in a row? Counting last uh, count, last episode's combat. As they move on, they notice from that same window set, a winged creature emerges. I think Fern had to actually make was made a belated concentration check to keep Peswell Chase off, which I think failed with a natural one. No, this creature appears to be is winged. With its wingspan roughly 35-40 feet, so the leathery wings like some sort of streamers falling behind it. It appears to have three legs or something like that. They managed to avoid detection and get into and observe this tapestry of which shows like the symbol of Molaesmyr, a white tree. Mm-hmm. Oh, here, this is what this is the insignia. Here. Um, after activities of the leave, they have a break. I have a timestamp here.
I
Natural.
way eventually.
Wow. Well, I guess we know how this is
Can
going
I
to go.
lead the way eventually?
The Changebringer has a plan.
I'm just saying, Laudna and I used to like make our way through back streets all the time because people would be chasing us. So
Why would people
I might-
chase you?
I hope she's okay.
because
They want her
Laudna.
hill.
I'll tell you.
What if I die here and then never learn why?
Laudna's beautifully scary.
Don't worry, it's happened before.
Guys,
You're a pro.
focus. The Changebringer wants us to go this way.
And it's about that moment.
Resist.
F.C.G, as you point forward and hit
Oh,
a slight
this.
bump. And as you careen over this sudden incline, your wheel sinks into one of these open cracks in the ground that you had not seen around the corner from where you are. As you kind of stumble into this somewhat open crevasse in the ground, you begin to fall about 10, 15 feet within, kind of banging around before wedging inside. The rest of you watch FCG vanish within as the black miasma.
Basically, miasma pours forth again. Oh yes, Frida's actually decides like, well, they're making what finding their path. The Frida is sort of back in the tower, kind of getting over, like watching them go on, making sure everything's clear and stuff, and figuring that if anything comes up, he can always shoot at it and try to lure away from them. Stuff, but everyone who makes their Frida is not there to make because he doesn't have to make it. But else have to make a Constitution save. They all make it except for F.C.G, who got the little brunt being actually in the crack where it's coming out of. This this causes F.C.G to five 5 points off its maximum hit points. And that's when they have a good look. And that's when they also once again spot the creature again, the flying creature again. This time they get a better look. It didn't seem to have a neck before or a head. Now you can see where the neck should be. There is just a large purple eye. Oh, while on the tower before they get, I didn't want to show you the picture too soon. This is what they're seemingly up against. Oh, what they were hiding from. Yikes! Matt knows how to make nightmare fuel. They're heading to what they think is the tower and stuff. Well, they don't learn. This stuff. Eventually, when they're getting out of submarine, Frida starts going off after them to catch up. After going over Richard's collapse and stuff, they hear the sound now, and they get concerned. Then they start hearing howling. So stuff off in the distance. I think uh, Chetney in like what described as a partial werewolf form, and if she go back to try to help Frida get to them, and it was sort of like I think they're mainly holding their positions, and then they see it. The creature they were warned of by the fish, what's said to be the most fearsome creature of the Savalier Woods, the Wolf King. It seemed to be like 5 individual woods, but their bodies are elongated and stuff. You know, their stuff. They all in the lower part half of the torso seem to conjoin to one thing, which just seems to be more dragged behind, the 10 front limbs pull along. It's like here's a it's like 30 feet in length. Mm. Uh, Eventually, Frida finds the main part group minus uh, 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 Mine is Chetney and F.C.G. And what do you call it? Imogen tries risks a sending to see if it might work if it's shorter, and it does. I guess the effects it only affects the long distance communications. So and they were able to report there, and they're able to recall Chetney and F.C.G. who also relocate the party. But and they hurry back. I think Chetney actually carrying F.C.G., but they forgot that since they hurried back and stuff, they weren't doing it stealthily and are detected, and the Wolf King starts to approach. They start climbing a tree up to where the near the tower. And leave a Lee and Dale leaves a guardian of faith to try to avert it should be able to climb, which takes the form of a spectral form of Chetney's werewolf form. What did I write here? Oh yes. At one point, Laura asked Matt if instead of athletics that she could have, they could also have a big hit at acrobatics. He said, "You can, but the DC is higher for acrobatics." Mm-hmm. They do all the same things to try to avoid detection too. While they're climbing, only one of them fail. Only Chris fails and FC takes a fall, but Imogen manages to catch, which though it does seem to cause some jealousy in F.C.G. I thought freedom might be a nice thing for him and stuff, but it might start seeing some a new bad side to F.C.G. Not the one when he goes berserk too. But why? What? But don't take my word for it. Oh, good grief!
Quite a bit of ground before you grab a branch that snaps, and Frida immediately falls back. Just as you're about to tumble about 30 or so feet and hit the rocks below, you reach out and a hand catches you. Who catches?
Can I telekinetically shove him back into the wall?
Yes, you can. Something catches you and you get lifted and grab back on, feeling kind of the gentle lift of the psychic abilities.
Just a gentle cupping.
More of a
Cupping, huh?
Thank you, Miss Timmel. Thank you. Imogen, what the fuck are you doing?
Somebody's got to save their ass.
Get your hands off him.
Flip!
Dang.
I cast
is
a
that what
minor
this
illusion
is?
just to make her like sparkle a little bit.
It's a tough climb, but there's plenty of thorns and extensions to these roots that you can hold on to as the higher up you get, until eventually you can see the broken edge of where a balcony once stood and a little bit of an entryway you can squeeze through. One by one, you all begin to climb into the dark.
Yes, all the while, this thing is on the trail and trying to pursue them by climbing up. They do comment like make wonder. I do have a question on biology. Like it has 5 mouths, but only one rear end. That means everything all five eat gets the waste from what they eat. They eat is disposed of through one. All five does what all five of the heads eat get? I'll just say, do all five heads get shitted out the same hole? Matt just kind of says, "Well, what do you think this miasma is?" So, yeah, I thought you might just find that humorous. And it does attempt to climb up stuff. It using its five, it's sort of like its rear is it's more just being dragged along like a sleigh with like a dog sled with 5 wolves on the. But it's hard to. And when it's getting to the Spirit Guardian of Chetney, it just swatting at heads, knocking backwards and stuff. Eventually, it's the effort to both climb up here and deal with this translucent glowing wolf is just not enough. It growls and stuff to before, then just slinks off. So once inside the tower, the sort of starts having has a small breakdown. Like they start to think they're way over their heads. So, but she's more specific, like how the Frida just really left himself behind stuff to their stuff, and he said, "If you go to this, you should just go to this objective." I think all the Amotrons they don't have a sense of self-preservation, and that's been showing more and more. I'm starting to like the F.C.G and a Frida more because they're both too eager for self-sacrifice. And it seems like FCG is kind of possessive, started a little possessive. They do another, as they call it, vibe check, insight stuff, to try to determine whether or not this used to be where this might have lived. It kind of checks out, like this seems like Spacey would. One of them, I forget who. Is don't need this. The ones that suggest like once they're done with this place, they burn down like whatever's there may not be good and stuff. Oh, that's it. They find at one point like some remains with Molaesmyr and stuff. So it's still stuff, but I don't. They do find only like a golden ring on it, which is the only thing they take. Uh, Also, but because of this, and they do get a look around, it does see some what appear to be burn marks, and they determine that there might be arcane traps. And Dion managed to use his spell magic to get him by. Right? There is what appears to be stuff that looks like this papery material that's like here and stuff, which upon closer inspection they determine is much more similar to shedded skin. And they start wondering what else could weird creature abominations could live there. Like there could be something reptilian out there too. They seem in a lot of webs, so there's probably some sort of spider creature or creatures. Then they find a lot more notes and stuff about patterns of arcana and stuff and researching and how they repeat and stuff. And then find and especially how they repeat across different cultures and stuff around Alexandria and the shift and stuff. Also, you can see sort of Luna's disdain for divinities, like the original gods of Alexandria, like referring to stuff as like stuff like referred to as religious propaganda and stuff. Noticing how uh, it goes into specific about researching like contradictions within like each like worships doctrines and stuff and their ceremonies and rites contradictory to them. Also, that he tried to get out with specialists and arcana stuff to remove these things, including a Torah, a Leirin, and a Vishtara. And if any of you so you saw anything familiar later, later, what was Abria's character during the Calamity, Xandria Unlimited Calamity special. So nice little mirror. It also indicates that these notes are pre. We know that she died during the fall of what was that flying series? It wasn't Aor. Pop this back up again real quick. Avalier. Yeah, but it was just, but at the end of the special, which signaled the beginning of the calamity, it was destroyed to kill the ancient primordials he unleashed, and she went down with the ship. So, which means to reach out to her back then these notes would have to be pre-calamity. That's up. which indicates that Luminous is old enough to have seen the calamity and lived through it, which probably also is the biggest contributor to his disdain for the gods. For the calamity was the war of the betrayers and the prime deities. And like 2/3 of Alexandria's total population were annihilated during that war. And and a lot of things about time more about his religion, his like religion during the inconsistencies in religion and stuff, and even like composing a speech or something like as if like notes from saying that there was no real truth or plan in what the gods present. Basically, saying the gods are big cons and stuff. Though he did seem to show more interest in the Matrix of Ravens for the obvious that she was, after all, a mortal who ascended to godhood. The one of them said, and it shows particular interest in trying to relocate her her true name, her original name, as aim. Upon looking at it, they find more of that shedded skin-like material stuff or things, and stuff, and they also start trying to like remove dust from the walls and stuff. But and stuff to try to find any new information, like maybe like indentations and stuff, or stuff evidence of writing that's now covered by dirt and stuff. But they did find out about a spot where they couldn't get the dirt off, a circular part of the wall. And when I tried to go out and show light on it and stuff, it was up. The spell was absorbed into it, and it was. But there was this, a slight glow and stuff indicating that this thing can reach a capacity, sort of capacity magic, and which would activate something. And Frida finds doesn't know how, but this seems very familiar to him. Like so probably stuff he is an Avatar, so they probably have stuff like this in the Aora, but who knows? Maybe more significant. This does lead to Inchin saying suggests that she and F.C.G could do what they did with Ashton to recover his memories. Free agrees, but says that they can save that for later. Chetney has been in his wolf form a while because he transformed to go back for Frida and stuff, and I think he only gets one per day, so he's not letting it drop. And he continues searching throughout the room. Starts climbing. It finds a large root to try and climb them and part. Eventually, it reaches up, but finds his hand instead of sliding a hard surface, sort of sinks into something soft. There is like a citrusy smell, and which also has a scent of carrion. And when he withdraws his hand, there is crimson liquid on it. All of a sudden, and, there's sudden movement up top. They could hear from up top, and something starts quickly moving through the roots and stuff down toward them, and lands and seems to ooze out of the gaps of the roots down. There's something pinkish. It's like a pinkish red stuff, kind of giving like a flesh-like tone, like gives the tones of flesh underneath skin. And it is covered in different bestial faces, like elongated stuff. It slams onto the center string. When they get the sense that it is like has a lot of things, it's something that has not yet gotten its true shape, but then it starts forming to new shape. As Matt described it, like drawing inspiration from the party and other creatures within the city. It is choosing its form. And that is where the episode ends. Mm-hmm. I like this particular one. And all that's left is to introduce you to my a homebrew for the review. This is a more recent one, and it is actually not just one but three things like the boomerangs license. It's like a series stuff. It's called the Enlightened Raptor bow series. They're all classified as longbows, but I actually describe them more as recurve bows, like somewhat resembling the old Mongol. I was thinking of those highly stylized. Nice. There are three levels to this: the Falcon, the Hawk, and the Eagle. Here's the description for the Enlightened Falcon bow. While wielding this magical recurve bow, that serves as an arcane focus. This, by the way, this is an attuned item. I'm not sure if any other items I've shown so far have been attunement required to it. I did say that the boomerangs. I was planning on adding an optional rule saying the boomerangs don't need attunement to work. You just pick it up afterward and get it. So whatever creature first picks it up after doing damage receives health equal to the damage it takes. So this, I was like thinking like optional rules saying it can be attuned to, though it doesn't require to work. Attunement does, however, means that what makes it so that it will only heal you when you pick it up. Like anyone else picks it up while it's attuned to you, they get nothing from it. Okay, this does require attunement, but this bow requires attunement, but only can be attuned to by a ranger. That or a artificer or high enough level that where they get the feature allows them to ignore class exclusive items. Okay, this bow serves as an arcane focus. All attack rolls, damage, and DCs utilizing animation for this bow gains a +1 bonus. These rolls can be for both properties, both magical and mundane, like say, uh, like range range attack, spell attack rolls, DC on spell effects, magical properties of the arrow itself. +1. And or like the DC on poison, perhaps, like for mundane example of a say of the DC. Also, the arrows get this property whether or not you actually are using them on the bow with the bow itself, as in you don't actually have to like fire or even have it notched for it to get the effect. While just wielding both the arrow and wielding the spell while tuned, you can get the properties. Like say you have an enchanted arrow, which because of it's enchanted, it's worth more than 1 silver. You could do a melee attack with it and use it for a booming blade strike, and still get the bonus even if it's not if you're not like just shooting it. Yeah, the idea is like, and I'm not sure what you think like for like I know like the official D&D the materials don't actually list a I think plus one like +1 or so bows and stuff as this, but uh, I think this will be DM. Most of the time when you do it, the thing requires you to actually shoot an arrow and that gets the +2. So it all applies here. You can't you don't get the +2 to attacks if you're just whacking someone with the bow. Now that's maybe with regular +1 or +1, +2, +3 bows. It may allow stuff. This bow specifically not. It only enhances the ammunition that can be used for this. So proficiency with longbows allow you to add your proficiency bonus to attack rolls made with it. The other two bows are same thing, but they have stronger bonuses. The hawk being the +2 version, and eagle being +3. And with that, this video is done. I thank you for joining me. This is F.R.I.D.A Redementia, half elf. I'm not really doing the half elven bits anymore. I only have one of those ears, and gratefully, I've been keeping like track with the characters. Uh, has actually a character page on D&D Beyond for my persona F.R.I.D.A Redementia, which I keep in like its level equal to that of the party, like so. And it's actually actually lists that one as an awesome beer. So I'm done with the half elven bit. Anyway, off of that side note, thank you for joining me. This is F.R.I.D.A Redementia, and I wish thee good fortune in the quest of life.